The woods can be dense for our acts. The sea can be deep for our diving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Good evening. We're going to go with evening this time. It's close enough to 5. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. I always say that, don't I? Whenever I do it at this time, that is. Because I come on right after my 3 o'clock meeting. Because I'm feeling pumped and, yeah. It's kind of like in sales. They tell you that the best time to get on the phone and close is right after you've done a sale. So, right now we're going to be talking about putting our lives on a give and take basis. I'm going to be reading out of the 12 by 12 today. Sorry. There it is. Okay. Just wanted to make sure I was giving you the right thing. I'm going to start on the top of page 115 when we get started here. I usually like to wait about 2 or 3 minutes for people to get on. So if you could be patient, hang out with us for a little bit, that would be cool. That'd be really cool. I'm looking for speakers. I'm looking for speakers, number one, to tell their story. And I would like to do the 12 steps of Christmas. Ow! We will see if that's bleeding here in a minute. Somebody kind of wants attention right now. So, this is not a give and take basis. This is only a take. You only take from me. You're so cute. I love you. Yes. Someone's like, I'm not going to sit around and watch you kiss your cat. Okay. But what I'd like to do is have a guest for each step, and then read through it. So if you're wanting to do it, now is a good time because you can pick your steps. Otherwise, you might get assigned a step. Some will take longer than others. The 12th step in the 12 by 12 is fairly long. So that might be cut into two spots. Who knows? Who knows? So, oh, bless you. But Dad's got to do some reading now. So, mo. He's not always as cuddly, so I'm taking advantage of it. All right. Can you get him move along now? Move along. All right. You're getting fat, dude. So I'm going to start. I'm going to be reading from the 12 by 12. Welcome to Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. You know it. I'm Dion. You may know who I am. You may not. If you're here, please say hello. Not a requirement. And if you do say hello, don't feel like you always have to stick around the whole time either. Okay? I don't do guilt around here. So, page 115, after we come into AA, if we go on growing, our attitudes and actions towards security, emotional and financial security commence to change profoundly. Our demand for emotional security for our own way had constantly thrown us into unworkable relations with other people. Though we were sometimes quite unconscious of this, the result had always been the same. Either we had tried to play God and dominate those about us, or insisted on being overly dependent or on being over dependent upon them. Where people had temporarily let us run their lives as though they were still children, we had felt very happy and secure ourselves. But when they finally resisted or ran away, we were bitterly hurt and disappointed. We blamed them, being quite unable to see that our unreasonable demands had been the cause. And this can lead to a lot of insecurity. It can lead to abandonment issues. I know that I'm still working through abandonment issues. Not quite like I used to, but sometimes somebody will stop talking to me for a while. I'm like, are we still friends? I mean, I don't even know how to judge that anymore. Hello, Ember. When we had taken the opposite tack and had insisted, like infants ourselves, that people protect and take care of us, or that the world owed us a living, then the result had been equally unfortunate. This often caused the people we had loved most to push us aside or perhaps desert us entirely. So, and every human being does this. If we are in a bad mood, we are more likely to take it out on the person that we love the most. Everybody does this. Okay. It is a human, it's just a natural human thing. Why do we do that? Because they're not going to leave us. That's why. Right? Everybody out there, and I see this quite often. People are often quite determining, even in videos, oh, we're such a great guy. We're going to go give the homeless stuff. We're going to record it. Hey, do you want $20 or do you want, all that stuff. It's all fake, by the way. But for us to determine what other people need, I'll tell you the number one thing that the homeless want. Somebody who will listen. It's the number one thing. I know that. I was there. I've asked. I still ask. See, the streets may have changed and that person's needs may be different. Yeah, I really need a winter coat, but what I want is somebody who actually gives a fuck. Doesn't that sound familiar to you? Yeah. Our disillusionment had been hard to bear. We couldn't imagine people acting that way towards us. We had failed to see that though adult in years, we were still behaving childishly, trying to turn everybody, friends, wives, husbands, and even the world itself into protective parents. We had often refused to learn that the very hard lesson of overdependence upon people is unsuccessful because all people are fallible. What does that mean? It means that everybody makes mistakes. If you put an expectation on somebody, just plan on being let down. Don't use expectation, use trust. There are different types of trust. Okay. I have one friend, right? If I tell her anything, I know it'll stick with her. Okay. But if I need her to keep an important appointment, forget it. Okay. Those are different levels of trust. Yeah, I can trust in why? Because people are fallible. People are people, man. Some people have talents for other things. Sometimes I put together things and, I'll put together an AA meeting and forget the coffee cups. That's just kind of how we are. So people are fallible. But what are we really doing here? Well, we're going to extremes because we don't understand balance yet. It's not really your fault. It's your brain trying to figure out the easiest, softest way to alleviate. And unfortunately, our brains, an alcoholic brain, is set up to lie and manipulate. That's what we thought the good things in life were. I don't know about anybody else, but I just plain didn't understand until another person sat me down and said, "Hey, Dion, I love you, but you need God in your life." Those were the exact words. Okay, from my sponsor, Paul. What a great thing to go up and say to somebody. Dion, you know we love you here, but you need God in your life. And then he said, and I'm gonna help you with that. And he did exactly that. We did not become best friends. I still talk to him every now and again. We didn't become best friends. I will love that man for the rest of my life, you bet. We had refused to learn the very hard lesson. And even in the best of them, we will sometimes let us down, especially when our demands for attention become unreasonable. Good evening, Patricia. It's good to see you. As we made spiritual progress, we saw through these fallacies. And this right here, once you can start to see through your own fallacies, I'm going to let you know what will happen. You will become a walking, talking lie detector. You'll know. You'll just know. Okay? What is that? That's your intuition in line with God's will. Okay? It became clear that if we were ever to feel emotionally secure among grown-up people, we would have to put our lives on a give and take basis. We would have to develop the sense of being in partnership or brotherhood with all those around us. All, not who I pick. No. Right? And when we start to put our lives on a give and take basis, when we start thinking of other people instead of just ourselves, that's when we really start to see through these things. Because we'll be talking to somebody and they'll say something and be like, fuck, I do that too. I do that too. But for the grace of God go I. Any person that you see walking down the street, any other person that you make fun of, best be careful. But for the grace of God go you. Okay? Be very, we got to be careful on that. Now, what is a give and take basis? So I give away my program and I take my sobriety. That's a good one to put. Okay. Now, percentages quite often come up in this, and people like to, I'm going to use my wife and I's relationship, and we have a great relationship. It is a give and take basis. I give 50% of the time and I take 50% of the time. Okay. You cannot do more than 100. Some days it's 70-30. Some days it's 60-40. Some days it's 50-50. Maybe there's a surgery going on and it's 90-10 that week. It doesn't matter. It's all going to even out in the wash, man. It's all going to even out. Okay. There are some things that my wife does that she doesn't necessarily enjoy, but she does them with me because we just want to spend time together. Right? There's a lot of times we're sitting in the room doing totally different things, but we're together and it's all that matters to us. And I think that's pretty neat, man. You know, we can sit in a room for hours and not say anything and be perfectly fine. That's really nice. We saw that we would need to give constantly of ourselves without demands for repayment. And there's the big one. Yeah. Where's my due, God? Where's my due? I've said that before. You certainly, we all go through it, man. Don't think that you're going through something unique there, because you're not. Okay, that is us being human. Okay, And quite often, I tend to take my power back, or what I think is back, right? When we persistently did this, we gradually found that people were attracted to us as never before. And even if they failed us, we could be understanding and not too seriously affected, right? Um, I had to have uh, Pastor Marcia and I had to have maybe what other people might consider a tough talk. It wasn't that tough for us because our goals are aligned. Our goals are aligned. We just want to help people. We just want to help people. In fact, I made the decision right before, when it comes to the club, I'm not going to be taking cash donations. That way people know there's nothing fishy, because the whole point is you got to be transparent, man. You got to be totally transparent when it comes to this, because there's money exchanging hands. And I told Pastor Marcia, I said, a portion's going to the church, the rest goes to hey man. That's it. When we developed still more, we discovered the best possible source of emotional stability to be God Himself. Yeah. Only God can determine your actual worth. God's the only thing in this whole world that actually understands your worth. That's the way I kind of see it. It's weird. We found that his dependence upon his perfect justice, forgiveness, and love was healthy, and that would work where nothing else would. If we really depended upon God, we very couldn't well play God to our fellows, nor would we feel the urge to wholly rely on human protection and care. And there's the first step to believing in having a relationship with God. You got to stop playing God. That's the first thing, right? But when you're following God's will, you can't play God. See? That's what we call setting ourselves up for success. Just give it to God, man. I mean, my wife and I went through Thanksgiving week without our bank account. We got through it, man. There was no turkey yesterday. Nope. I wanted turkey, though. Now I'm really hungry. These were new attitudes that finally brought many of us an inner strength and peace that could not be deeply shaken by the shortcomings of others or by any calamity not of our own making. See, what happens is it talks about an unshakable foundation. Okay. And if you wake up in the morning and do steps 1, 2, and 3 every morning, you will have an unshakable foundation. That means that things will come across. Things will happen, arduous things, happy things, exciting things, joyful things, sad things, depressive. This is life. And you've got to find the balance. Okay. A lot of what we talk about in AA is black and white, but in this, you got to see the beauty of the gray. All right. I love you all. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Patricia, Amber, it's good to see you both. I think some other people were in and out. So thank you all for being here. Just, I mentioned this at the beginning. I'm looking for speakers. I'm looking for speakers that want to tell their stories. And then I'd like to do the 12 steps of Christmas. So I need 12 different speakers, unless somebody wants to double dip with me or something. But I think it'd be a lot better to do those with somebody else. So, all right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you have a great Friday evening. I will not be back today. I love you all. Peace out and have a day.